Discuss basic anatomy and ailments.
As you're working on the horses, it's just helpful if there is anything like splint, a ring bone, laminitis, bruising, puncture wound, thrush. It's important and essential to discuss this with the client and be able to show them, what they need to be keeping an eye out on. Say, for example, in thrush, it's fairly obvious if a horse is suffering bad thrush, you need to explain why, how you're trimming the frog, whether they need to put some sort of topical solution on it, whether they need to be taking more care of, picking the feed out, and mucking the stable out on a regular basis. And I find it very helpful to take a freeze-dried specimen around with you in your truck. There's, say, a sagittal section, so you can explain to the client what's going on within the horse's foot. Some of them have absolutely no idea what goes on inside a hoof capsule. And again, with modern technology, smartphones and tablets, it's very easy just to have a few images, X-rays, etc., on your phone. So you just got to bring up a picture on your phone, and you can explain it very, very clearly and very, very easily to the client. And likewise, if you have X-rays that the vet has sent you regarding their horse, have that stored on your phone or on your tablet, so you can explain that to your client. You can highlight what structures in the foot are being affected on your phone. And it's far easier doing it with a picture rather than trying to explain it.
Leave the gates the way you found them, Pete.
Yeah, it's real tempting, like you're running between places and, okay, I can just dive in here, and I got just this one horse to trim here, and you have to get out and open the gate, and then you're going to be there 10, 15 minutes, and then you have to get back out and open the gate and shut the gate again with the truck. So it's real tempting kind of to leave the gate open, but all it takes is that one time to leave that gate open and that horse get loose, and out on the road he goes. And so it's always been growing up on a ranch especially, it's always a practice. You leave the gates the way you found them, and when you're working around somebody's property, if their gate was shut, leave their gate shut. If it's open, leave it open. So it's always a good practice to do that.
Okay. Don't catch the client's herd.
Yeah, and exactly that. Safety 101. I'm missing Jamie Cooper this year because, in her lawyerly tone, she would tell us to never be catching horses. I mean, we certainly know that many of us have been injured, and some farriers have even died from attempting to catch clients' horses. Now, the obvious. That being said, we all live in the real world. As Pete just said, he works on horses alone. I know I work on a few horses alone too. Sometimes those situations really can't be avoided, or again, as Pete said earlier too, we're doing that for our own convenience and scheduling. So the point here is to really just take the time and assess the risk. Are you going to work on that horse alone because it's convenient for you, or can you work on that horse because it's a very low risk to you? So just keep that in mind and make sure that you're not letting that schedule dictate safety.
Discuss age, history, and a number of factors, Mark.
Okay, when you're providing Hoof-Care to your client, they may well have a horse, for example, that's just barefoot and just trimmed. That horse may never come out of the pasture, so you're able to keep its feet nice and short, give it a good trim. On the other hand, they may have a horse that is barefoot that does get ridden. So you need to establish what the horse does on a daily basis, how often it does get ridden. If at all, if it's getting ridden regularly, then you want to leave a little bit of foot there. You don't want to be in a situation where you're trimming too much foot off. The horse goes footsore, and then you're going to have to come back 3-4 days later and having to put a pair of front shoes on because you over-trimmed the feet. You need to understand what discipline does the horse engage in, what surface is it working on. All these things will have an effect on how you trim and how you're going to shoe that horse and what shoes you're going to be putting on that foot.
Pete, be patient with young and old horses alike.
Yep. Young and old horses, it's like kids and old people, and I love them both. I like working with kids and old people too. But a lot of these horses, and the people, and like Mark here and Dean have talked about, people appreciate when you take the time to work around their horse, and especially these old horses are crippled up, and they want to pull their legs away. They're uncomfortable. They're not trying to be mean at all. They're just uncomfortable. And if you just take the time, slow down. Just do a little bit. You might go to another foot and work on that a little bit and come back. Same way with a young horse. Pick a foot up, let him relax. And even before you work on it, set it down. Then go work on another foot. Just train him. Tell him, hell, I'm not going to hurt you. And just take your time. Take another 5-10 minutes. It'll save you 10 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes down the road.
All here, they're going to be here till they're all done, then they all go out.